What's up, guys? My name is Kyle, and welcome back to our final week of the series, Radical. So last week we talked about how radical people watch their words and the different ways that we can do that and why it's so important because of how much of an impact our words have on others. So this week we're going to round everything off and we're going to talk about peace. We're going to talk about making peace with people and what it truly means to bring peace to a situation. So I don't know about you, we all have different definitions of peace. Some of us, we think it means calm. Some of us, it's like, well, if things are peaceful, then that just means life is going well. But we all know, whether or not we have a certain definition of peace, we all know when we don't have it. I can think of a time when I was right at the end of high school, my family was getting ready to move. They were going from Illinois to Kentucky. And the house was a mess. We're pulling everything together. We've got people yelling back and forth up the stairs. What are we taking? What are we not taking? Do we need this? Do we need that? And let me tell you, there was not an ounce of peace in that house. It was absolute chaos. But I tell you this because it's a lot easier for us to tell when there isn't peace compared to when there is and how we can actually make that happen. So as you guys know, we've been looking in the book of James to see what is it that we can learn about not only Jesus' life, but our own life in terms of how to be radical. And James speaks about how to make peace in all situations. So we're going to be looking at James 3, and this is verses 16 through 19. And it says this: "For where you have envy and selfish ambition, there you find disorder and every evil practice. But the wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure, then peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit, impartial and sincere. Peacemakers who sow in peace reap a harvest of righteousness." So what can we learn from what we just read in James? Well, first of all, we know that peace isn't something that is accidental. It doesn't just happen. You have to put in the time for peace to be made apparent in your own life. It also implies that it's normal to see conflict. You and I both know this. We see conflict all the time, whether it's with friends, family members, people on our sports team, people in our band. There's conflict everywhere. So we know that it's coming, and we know that if we want peace, we have to step into it ourselves. James also helps us see how we might be peacemakers for others. Right? He said if you sow in peace, that's when you're going to see that righteousness come out. So that means we have to be the first ones to step in and live out that peace that God is begging for us to use. So how do we do this? Well, there's two quick things that I want to do before I talk about those action steps that we can take. And the first thing is that we have to do this through the Holy Spirit, right? If you guys know the fruits of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, right? That is something that comes from the Spirit and something we're going to have to seek after Him if we're going to be able to do this well. The second thing is that through the words and example of Jesus is how we're actually going to be able to see the ways that we're going to do this. For the past 3 weeks, we've been looking at what does Jesus do that makes him so radical. And above all else, he is a peacemaker. It doesn't mean that everything is always calm and there's no conflict, but in the midst of conflict, Jesus is there and he cares and he's stepping in and saying, we're going to make peace here. So here's 4 ways that you and I can impact people around us and make peace in our own lives. The first is this: stop the drama, or don't even start it. You guys know that there is so much drama going on in your schools, in your lives, and if we're the ones that are not only participating in that, but starting it, there is going to be no peace anywhere around that. So don't do it. Stop the drama. Second thing, build a bridge. All right, we don't want to burn bridges, we want to build bridges. There might be some people in your life right now that you just don't want any part of. That's okay. God has given you the ability to discern who's good for your life and who's not. That doesn't mean we should completely cut people off. Because what happens if that person grows or if you grow? And then you realize, actually, we could be in a really beneficial friendship. You don't want to burn those bridges. You don't want to cease making peace just to make a point. Third thing, fight for others. Not just yourself, fight for others. When you get to step in and care for people in a way that shows them the love of Christ, you are fighting for them, and that is going to create peace around you. Again, that doesn't mean there's not conflict, but if someone sees, man, this person's fighting for me, they care about me, it's gonna make a huge, huge difference. And then number 4, make peace with God. It's not just about making peace with others. And honestly, it's really hard to make peace with others if we don't first come to peace with God. Doesn't mean you're gonna have all the answers. Doesn't mean you're gonna understand everything that this book tells you. But if we can sit there and say, okay, God, I'm with you. I at least understand some things, and I'm willing to continue on while still learning, is so crucial. So again, stop the drama, build a bridge, fight for others, and then make peace with God. And guys, those 4 things are going to radically change your life and are going to bring peace in a way that you have never experienced it before. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your week.